Ever dreamed of stepping into a real-life fairy tale? Or maybe chasing the northern lights across the Arctic sky? Well, buckle up, because we're about to take you on a whirlwind tour of the 20 most epic must-see places in Europe. From castles that inspired Disney to glowing blue lagoons, these destinations will leave you speechless, and possibly reconsidering your entire life choices. So grab your passport, smash that like button, throw on your comfiest travel shoes, and let's explore Europe's most jaw-dropping spots, before, the robot uprising or the next ice age ruins everything. Number 1. Santorini, Greece. Santorini is so picture-perfect that it makes real life feel like a screensaver. Those famous whitewashed buildings, blue-domed churches, and fiery sunsets are exactly as magical as they look in travel brochures. But be warned, this place is expensive. You'll pay €8 for an iced coffee and cry about it later, but at least the view will be amazing. Also, avoid wearing heels. Those cobblestone streets were clearly designed by someone who hates ankles. If you want a romantic escape, or just need to feel like a Greek god for a weekend, Santorini is worth every overpriced bite of baklava. Number 2. Hallstatt, Austria. Imagine if a fairy tale village and a Christmas postcard had a baby, and you've got Hallstatt. This ridiculously scenic lakeside town is so perfect that China literally built a full-scale replica of it. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, right? Hallstatt is the ideal place to wander around aimlessly, get lost in the pastel-colored streets, and wonder if you somehow fell into a Disney movie. Rent a boat and glide across the lake, take a million photos, and if you're feeling adventurous, check out the creepy bone chapel filled with decorated skulls. Nothing says romantic getaway like a room full of skeletons. Number 3. Plitvice Lakes, Croatia. Plitvice Lakes National Park is Mother Nature flexing on the rest of the world. This place has 16 lakes, hundreds of waterfalls, and water so blue that you'll swear someone photoshopped it. Walking around here feels like stepping into a real-life fantasy world, except instead of elves and unicorns, you're surrounded by tourists who don't understand personal space. The wooden pathways take you up close to the waterfalls, but beware, they can get slippery, and nothing kills vacation vibes like an unplanned swim. If you love nature, waterfalls, or just need a new lock screen wallpaper, Plitvice is a must. Number 4. Neuschwanstein Castle, Germany. If you've ever looked at a Disney castle and thought, I want to go there, good news. Neuschwanstein Castle is the real-life inspiration for Cinderella's castle and looks so impossibly dreamy that you'll feel like you walked into a fairy tale. Built by King Ludwig II, aka the Mad King, this castle is proof that having too much money and free time leads to amazing architecture. It's perched on a hill with jaw-dropping views, but getting up there requires a bit of effort and probably some swearing. Pro tip: buy your tickets in advance unless you enjoy waiting in line for hours while questioning your life choices. Number 5. Meteora, Greece. Meteora is what happens when monks decide regular mountains aren't good enough and start building monasteries on top of massive rock pillars. The result? One of the most jaw-dropping places in Europe. The monasteries look like they're floating in the sky, and getting up there requires climbing a ridiculous number of steps. So be prepared for an unexpected leg day workout. But once you reach the top, the views are so insane that you'll forget about your burning thighs. Whether you're religious or just here for the scenery, Meteora is one of those places that makes you feel tiny in the best way possible. Number 6. The Northern Lights in Tromsø, Norway. Ah, the Northern Lights. One of the most magical, unpredictable, and frustrating things you'll ever try to see. In Tromsø, you have one of the best chances to catch this epic cosmic light show, but here's the catch: they don't appear on demand. You might see an explosion of neon greens and purples lighting up the Arctic sky, or you might just see some faint green smudges and question all your life choices. Either way, Tromsø is an adorable winter wonderland where reindeer casually walk past you like it's no big deal. Number 7. Cinque Terre, Italy. Cinque Terre is 5 impossibly charming villages stacked on top of cliffs overlooking the Mediterranean. It's colorful, it's romantic, and it's filled with more stairs than you ever thought possible. If you're planning to walk between the villages, congratulations, you just signed up for a free leg day. But the effort is worth it because each village is more picturesque than the last. Plus, you'll burn enough calories to justify eating 3 bowls of pesto pasta in one sitting. Number 8, the Scottish Highlands, Scotland. The Scottish Highlands are so ridiculously cinematic that you'll half expect a dramatic orchestra to start playing as you drive through them. Think misty mountains, ancient castles, and lakes that may or may not have monsters in them. Looking at you, Loch Ness. It's wild, rugged, and untamed, like nature just decided to show off. Also, bring a raincoat because the weather here changes faster than your mood when you realize you forgot your umbrella. Number 9, Mont Saint-Michel, France. Mont Saint-Michel is so magical that it looks fake. An island abbey that rises out of the sea depending on the tide? Come on, that's straight-up fantasy novel material. During high tide, it's completely surrounded by water, and during low tide, you can walk right up to it. Just don't lose track of time unless you want an unplanned swimming lesson. Wandering through its medieval streets feels like stepping back in time, except with slightly more souvenir shops selling overpriced keychains. Number 10. The Cliffs of Moher, Ireland. Standing on the Cliffs of Moher is the closest you'll ever get to feeling like a dramatic movie protagonist. These towering sea cliffs rising 700 feet above the Atlantic offer one of the most breathtaking and slightly terrifying views in Europe. But let me warn you, the wind here is no joke. It will snatch your hat, your scarf, and possibly your dignity if you get too close to the edge. The cliffs are so cinematic that they've appeared in Harry Potter and the Princess Bride. But trust me, standing there in real life is even better than watching it on screen. Number 11, the ice caves of Vatnajökull, Iceland. Welcome to Iceland's real-life frozen wonderland. These crystal-clear blue ice caves form inside Europe's largest glacier and look so otherworldly that you'll half expect Elsa from Frozen to pop out and start singing. But here's the catch, they only exist in winter. In the summer they melt away, leaving behind only broken dreams and wet tourists. To get here, you'll need a guided tour and possibly some courage, because walking inside a massive block of ice is both magical and slightly terrifying. Just remember, do not lick the ice. Number 12, the fairy pools, Isle of Skye, Scotland. The fairy pools are so stunning that you'll swear you've stepped into a fantasy novel. Crystal clear blue pools, surrounded by misty Scottish mountains, make this place look like it belongs in a fairy tale. And sure, the water looks inviting, but let me stop you right there. It's ice cold. People will tell you to take a dip because it's refreshing. Translation, painfully freezing. But if you do, at least bring a towel and a strong will to live. Regardless of whether you swim or just admire from a safe, dry distance, this place is 100% worth the visit. Number 13, the Lofoten Islands, Norway. Norway's Lofoten Islands are so unfairly beautiful that they look fake. Picture dramatic mountains, fishing villages painted in red, and beaches so white you'll wonder if you accidentally ended up in the Caribbean. The only difference, it's freezing. But hey, at least you won't have to deal with sunburns. If you're feeling adventurous, you can even go surfing. Yes, surfing in the Arctic. Number 14, the Blue Lagoon, Iceland. The Blue Lagoon is Iceland's most famous geothermal spa, and for good reason. Soaking in milky blue, mineral-rich water while surrounded by lava fields is an experience like no other. The water is naturally heated, making it perfect for relaxing, but fair warning, it smells like rotten eggs. Blame the sulfur. Also, if you value your hair, absolutely drench it in conditioner before entering the water, unless you want to spend the next week looking like you brushed your hair with a cactus. Number 15, Dubrovnik, Croatia. Welcome to Dubrovnik, the city so medieval it makes your history books jealous. With massive stone walls, Baroque buildings, and the sparkling Adriatic Sea, this place is straight out of a fantasy novel. Oh wait, it actually is. Because this is King's Landing from Game of Thrones. You can walk the ancient walls, explore the fortresses, and pretend you're ruling Westeros. Number 16, the Amalfi Coast, Italy. The Amalfi Coast is Italy at its most glamorous. Colorful villages cling to the cliffs, the Mediterranean sparkles below, and lemons here are the size of your head. Seriously, if you've ever wanted to sip limoncello on a sun-drenched terrace while contemplating how to quit your job and move here forever, this is the place to do it. Just be warned, driving on these roads is not for the faint of heart. Number 17, the Giant's Causeway, Northern Ireland. This place looks like aliens had a go at building a sidewalk. The Giant's Causeway is made up of 40,000 interlocking basalt columns, all naturally formed by volcanic activity, or, if you believe local legends, built by a giant named Finn McCool. Walking across the hexagonal stones feels like stepping onto a massive, pixelated video game map, and if you visit at sunset, it's downright magical. Just watch your step, tripping here is a rite of passage. Number 18, the Black Forest, Germany. The Black Forest is so mystical and moody that it's easy to see why the Brothers Grimm set many of their fairy tales here. This dense, dark forest is filled with charming villages, waterfalls, and half-timbered houses that look like they belong in a children's storybook. And yes, this is where Black Forest cake comes from. So even if you don't believe in fairy tales, you can at least believe in the power of chocolate, cherries, and whipped cream. Number 19, the Pyramids of Güímar, Spain. Yes, Spain has pyramids, and no, they weren't built by aliens. Probably. The Pyramids of Güímar on the Canary Islands are a total mystery. Some historians think they were built by ancient civilizations, others think they were just fancy farming terraces, and a few people are convinced they're proof of ancient extraterrestrial visitors. Either way, they're cool, mysterious, and a great excuse to visit a Spanish island paradise. Number 20, Cappadocia, Turkey. Okay, so Turkey is technically in both Europe and Asia, but Cappadocia is too amazing to leave off this list. Imagine a landscape filled with weird, alien-like rock formations called fairy chimneys, ancient cave houses, and hundreds of hot air balloons rising into the sky at sunrise. It's one of the most surreal travel experiences you can have, and if you ever wanted to feel like you're floating above another planet, this is your chance. And just like that, we've traveled across some of the most breathtaking places on Earth, so tell me, which of these destinations is at the top of your bucket list? Drop a comment below and let's plan our next adventure together. And if you loved this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss another travel-packed adventure.